Nothing But by Amethyst Unarmed, read by Kaiinbed. Part 1 of the Truth series. Relationship includes DabiHawks. Additional tags: Hurt Comfort, Angst, Truth Quirk, Quirk Accident, Hero Commissions A+ Parenting, Hawks Acts Like a Bird, Implied Child Abuse, Implied Character Death, Non-Graphic Violence, Pining. Summary: What's got you so jumpy, hero? Dabi sneers, and Hawks answers him. I got hit with a truth quirk. Hawks swiftly contemplates every decision that has gotten him to this moment, starting with his own birth, and regrets all of them. Dabi's eyes light up like it's Christmas Day, and Hawks is the present he's been waiting all year to unwrap. Really? He purrs. Well, isn't that incredible? AKA, Hawks gets hit with a truth quirk right before a meeting with Dabi. Dabi thinks it'll be fun. It isn't. To be honest, the fight isn't hard. Most villains see Hawks' lazy complaints and pretty boy smiles and forgets why he's number 2. They forget that his speed is not the only thing to fear, but that his technique is unmatched, even by Endeavor. So when he shoots out his feathers, pinning bank robbers to the brick behind them, there isn't a lot of fuss. The only person who even attempts to fight back is the woman nearest to where he landed. She reaches towards him with the last of her momentum. He leans back, trying to get out of the way. God only knows what kind of quirk she could have. But even as his feathers drag her away, her fingers brush against his wrist with glowing yellow light. Fuck. The fight is already over. Hawks can tell. The would-be robbers struggle against his bombs, but none of them appear to have the strength or flame quirks that would really put him in trouble. He has time to check himself over for injuries. He looks at his wrist, examines it for any injury or residue, but there's nothing there. She must have missed him. Still, he doesn't like the way she's smirking at him. The effects of the quirk only really become apparent once the EMTs arrive. Though no one had really been hurt, it's standard procedure to be checked over before returning to work. Hawks is annoyed by the delay. His patrol had been right at its end when the call about the robbers came over his comm. At this rate, he's going to be late for his meeting with Dabi. Something the villain, despite the many times he's made Hawks wait, was incredibly unforgiving about. You seem alright, Hawks, the EMT says, sticking her penlight back in the pocket of her uniform. Not even a scrape. Anything else happened that I should know about? I mean, I think one of the villains hit me with her quirk, Hawks says without thinking. Her expression grows concerned, and he curses internally. He offers a dashing smile. But it didn't do anything. I feel perfectly fine. He can tell by the way she's frowning that she's unfortunately good at her job. Even so, it would be best for you to go to the hospital, she tells him. We can monitor you for any changes. Hawks suppresses his sigh and smiles wider. He'll just tell her he'll go home and call his personal physician if anything happens. It's a lie he's said so often. It's starting to feel like the truth. He opens his mouth. I'm not allowed to go to the hospital. Hawks' eyes widen. What the fuck? The EMT stares agape at him. They just look at each other for a moment. I really need to go, Hawks stammers. I just broke like 8 NDAs by telling you that. What the actual fuck? He stumbles backwards, wings already flapping. His instincts scream at him to get away from the threat, the thing putting his entire existence at risk. The EMT reaches forward, clearly worried, but she keeps her voice soothing and calm. Hawks, one of the villains is registered as having a quirk that forces a person to tell the truth. I think you've been affected. Unfortunately, his mouth is just as fast as the rest of him. I have to go, Hawks yammers. I'm terrified of telling you something that will get you killed. What the fuck? Her hands fall at that, and she stops. She doesn't say another word as he flies away. Hawks slams down on his balcony with one of the worst landings he's done since he was a teenager. His knees ache, but he can't think about anything other than his heart beating in his ears and the words, "Tell the truth" on endless loop. His hands shake as he opens the balcony doors. He can handle this. It can't last more than a day, maybe 2, right? He just has to stay in his apartment and it'll be fine. The commission will be pissed, but they'll allow it. Last thing they want is Hawks in the field spilling all their "Nice of you to finally show up, little bird." Hawks yelps and leaps over his couch, putting some kind of barrier between him and this new threat. It's only when the man chuckles that Hawks remembers. Oh fuck, he has a meeting with Dabi. He smirks down at Hawks. What's got you so jumpy, hero? Dobby sneers, and Hawks answers him. I got hit with a truth quirk. Hawks swiftly contemplates every decision that has gotten him to this moment, starting with his own birth, and regrets all of them. Dobby's eyes light up like it's Christmas Day, and Hawks is the present he's been waiting all year to unwrap. Really? He purrs. Well, isn't that incredible? Hawks should run. He should push Dobby out of his apartment or lock himself in his room, but he doesn't. He just sits there, mouth half open, like he can't wait to tell all his secrets. Let's start with something easy. Dobby licks his lips. What do you think of me? I've been attracted to you since the day we met, and if you stepped on me, I'd thank you. Hawks clamps his hands over his mouth, but it's too late. Dobby is already cackling, head tilted back, smile so wide Hawks is afraid he'll pop a staple. It would have been beautiful if it wasn't so cruel. Not exactly what I meant, but can't say I'm not flattered. He takes a step closer to Hawks, greedy eyes still glimmering with power. And what do you think of Hero Society? That one Hawks doesn't even bother trying to hold in. I've grown up in it my whole life. Don't really have an opinion anymore. Dobby rolls his eyes. I suppose I'll have to get more specific. He reaches out, takes Hawks' chin between his fingers. Are you betraying the League of Villains? No. This can't be happening. Hawks bites down on his tongue, his eyes scrunched shut with the effort it takes to keep the words in his mouth. He can't tell him. He can't let him know. Can't let it all be a waste. I am, but I wish I wasn't. Wait, what? Dobby takes an instinctive step back. What? He echoes, and Hawks is too surprised not to answer. I wish I wasn't. I wish I could really be on your side. No one has ever treated me like the League has. I wish I could be a part of it for real. Hawks isn't sure why he is still talking. Dobby is looking at him with these horrified eyes, and he just can't bear it. Can't handle the weight of disappointing someone whose opinion he values so much. He just wants Dobby to stop looking at him like that. Dobby's eyes widen, and Hawks realizes he said all of that out loud. But still, he forges ahead. I mean, I don't agree with everything you do. I don't like that you kill people, but I've killed people. The Hero Commission has killed people. They made me kill Best Genus. Dobby blinks rapidly. They knew about that? Oh, they ordered it. It feels like the quirk's getting worse, like the words are battering themselves against his closed lips. There is no time for Hawks to stop, no time for him to fight the stream of words flowing from his mouth. I told them about your request. I really thought they'd call it. Tell me it wasn't worth it. That it'd gone too far. I was scared, because I failed my mission, but I was relieved too. I was afraid, because I was really starting to like you. Dobby isn't moving. Now he's frozen too, just listening to Hawks talk. But they told me to keep going. Told me Best Genus wasn't useful anymore, that he could be dispatched. So they gave me his address. I went to visit him, and when he turned his back, I pulled out one of my longest feathers and stabbed him over and over until he stopped moving. Then I threw up in the sink, used the shower to clean off the blood, and brought him to you. You were so happy with me. Despite everything, that felt nice. My handlers don't really tell me when I do well, just when I have things I need to fix. Hawks feels like he's drunk. He's never been drunk before, except for that one time on Rooney's birthday when he blacked out. But he's certain this is how it must feel. His head is swimming, and the world is shifting in and out of focus, and he can't fucking shut up. What the fuck? Handlers? Why do you have handlers? I'm an asset. All assets have handlers. Dobby is staring at him like he can't comprehend Hawks' words, and the thing inside him propels him forward. They make sure I continue to be an appropriate representation of the Hero Commission. Dobby frowns. The hell does that mean? Schedule training, keep me presentable, file down my talents, give me speech lessons to rid me of my bad habits. Bad habits? Chirps, whistles, any kind of inhuman noise. That's real fucked up. Hawks nods and his head feels like a balloon. It is. It's one of the reasons I like spending time at the hideout. No one cares if I eat raw meat or if I tweet when I'm happy. I crushed an apple in my grip yesterday and Toga cheered. It's surreal. Normally I get punished. If you hate it so much, why don't you leave? I have nothing else. They bought me when I was a kid. Everything Hawks has held close, everything he tells himself isn't true, everything he represses, it all comes tumbling out. I mean, they asked if I wanted to go, to be a hero, but they knew my parents beat the shit out of me. They knew I wasn't going to turn down the chance to get away from that. But it didn't matter. They got the weapon they wanted. They made me perfect. If I fail, they punish me, so I won't do it again. That's why I can't leave. They'll kill me, or worse. Probably worse. They've invested too much in me to get rid of me. So they'll just chain me up until I'm Pt1 again. Until I'm theirs again. So I don't really have an option. Hawks continues, and he feels tears streaming down his cheeks, and his voice cracks with sobs, but still he can't stop talking. The Hero Commission uses me. The League of Villains uses me. It doesn't really matter. I'm used to it. It's what I'm good for. Even you use me. I don't mind that as much, even though I should. It's nice when it's you. A sob racks his chest. Please, don't ask me any more questions. Hawks begs. I'll do anything. Just stop, please. Dabi pauses, more hesitant and gentle than Hawks thought possible, before nodding. And finally, with no more words left to give, Hawks wraps his wings around himself and weeps. At some point, Dabi leans against him, begins running his fingers through his hair. Hawks knows he should be disgusted, should shove him away, but instead he leans closer, desperate for the comfort. He reaches his wing around Dabi and hides them away from the world together. The end. You have just finished listening to Nothing But by Amethyst Unarmed, Part 1 of the Truth series. If you enjoyed the story, please leave them some feedback on archiveofourown.org/works/23884804. And if you enjoyed my reading of the story, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/juststayinbed.